All right, let's get the camera going. There I am. Okay. Fantastico. Yeah, Jim, exactly. Start your drawing tools, which I haven't done. No kidding. Starting the drawing tools first is the equivalent of putting the orange bar on for power option plays. I never remember to do it until the first stop comes up. I'm like, oh, I need this, don't I? It's good. Click record. Bear with that 3, 2, 1 for a second. All right, perfect. So as we get started, keep in mind, everything we look at is for education. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. If you find something that you like, anything, make sure it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance. All right. If I missed any questions or comments, I apologize. It just went by pretty quick. Caught what I could get. All right, so we've got a brand new format here for Power Hour each and every Monday. I did add something to this one that was not on last week, so we did start this last week. I added today's trades. So you can see we're going to go through here. I'm going to put down, the goal is to get a couple of timelines on these. Guidelines, not strict where I must finish at 2:14 or at 12:14 or whatever it is, but guidelines of 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and so forth, okay? So here's our followers page. So there's a lot of content that goes out each and every week, folks. We just did 2 YouTube videos. One of them was AI based. We did another one along with it, not AI. And then we also did, I want to say it was 13 or 17, I don't remember, TikTok videos as well. Now, when I say TikTok, it's the same video for TikTok. We do it for TikTok because TikTok has the strictest rules when it comes to posting. We do it for TikTok. We put it on Instagram. It makes it up on YouTube as a reel. It goes on LinkedIn. So we get it moves around, right? We get some links out on Twitter and so forth. All right, so today's trades. Let's start right off with that. What did you all do? Drop them in the text chat. Remember, funded, unfunded doesn't matter. Today, Friday, Thursday, it doesn't matter. Win, lose, draw, doesn't matter. This is about putting the trades out there. You're telling the world that you're doing this, right? So call everyone here your accountability partner, if that's what you want to do. That is fine. I have 0 problems with that. All right, so go ahead and drop those in. Morning, Helen. For me, it has been a busy little bit. Exactly. Trader Will says 6 trades, $500 plus. Yes, and that's what I mean, busy. I have got a bunch to share with you guys today. But great job, Will, up over 500 bucks on that. That is fantastic. Let's see. Brenda said Friday, 1.3% on SPY. Nice. John said, I love it. Naked puts, NVIDIA I did. NVIDIA, Sava, BITO, cash flow, 1,700 bucks. Great job, John. Nothing yet for Jennifer. So this was from last week on Trade with Rob. 3 trades went off through the entire week. We had 2 of them go off on Wednesday. I did not do an update on Thursday. Some of you know, if you were in Trading You and you got a notice of cancellation last week, I apologize. On Thursday, we rushed my mother-in-law to the hospital again on Thursday afternoon, late morning, early afternoon, and I was just not able to get back. There was just too much craziness going on. She is still there. They are still running more tests. Hopefully we'll have some answers today, but we canceled, so I did not get to do a Trade with Rob on Friday either. So 2 of them, FUTU, we got in at 92.75, was bearish trade. We got out at 91.25, gave us $108 of profit as a winning trade. And then VEEV, we got in at 236, we got out at 233 half. That was $180 of profit. So here's the numbers that are really going to be most important to you with this, right? At least for me. This total P&L is from June 25th on 1 contract. That's all it is, just 1. Now, this is assuming you took every single trade the exact way that I took it, the exact exit that I took. Don't look at it as you're expecting that kind of number, because you shouldn't. You may do better, you may not do as well, and either one is okay, right? But right here, this is it. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks since we've had a losing trade. Right, we've got 49 winners, 10 have gone against us, 3 broke even, and this last line down here in green, 221.96 is the average P&L trade, and that's on all of these trades added up, right? So 49, 59, 62, when you add those 3, and that's what you have right here, 62. It's 221.96. All right, we're at 79% winners on our trades of the candidates that are going off. There are others that are not filling, and that's okay. I stopped showing them on there, meaning I don't leave them up there. They're still here. I never delete them. They're still there. You can see right here, lines 143, 145, 147, 140. There are spaces there because of the trades that are hidden in the background. And they were just ones that we called the setup, but the setup never happened. Gapped away, no trade took place, or whatever it was. PK say kudos to everybody for their trades. Donald said SPY call today, $318. Meta put $312 both today. Good job, Donald. Excellent. Congrats. Andre said played AMD Tuesday to Friday. Fib switchback 382 to 236. $1,400 on 2 puts. Nice. Here's our AMD trade from Pop. We got stopped out on AMD. All right, we got stopped out on this bounce today. It's okay. We did 4 contracts. We got taken, 2 of them got taken off on 11/15. We did them on the 12th. We got in when the stock was at 146. We got out today at 139.75. So we're crushing it, baby. AMD, $145 stock. And we're up $2,450 on that trade from the 12th to the 18th. Nice, right? So good. Congrats on AMD there, Andres. Trip said scalps on Avago and Roku this morning. Avago was 21.4%. Roku was 2.8%. And I keep saying Avago, it's AVGO, Broadcom. AVGO was awesome and Roku was a little too much work for 10 cents. Okay, I understand. I appreciate that, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Brenda as well. Thank you. Yep, awesome. Oh, I agree. I agree. So that was these 2 types of setups right here. Let me move these off screen now since I don't need them right now. And let's go over and look at my pop stocks. All right, so here's Coinbase. What a move, what a move, what a move, what a move. Look at it. So we gapped down a little bit today. Now, if you look at the 5-minute chart on Coinbase, we actually pulled through. We broke back above, retested. I didn't take the trade until we got up above 300. Okay, because I wanted it to get above the 100-point price level. And we're still in that trade right now. So Coinbase, awesome. CrowdStrike, right? If you look at a 5-minute chart, there's that 337.33 level. Look at a 5-minute chart on CrowdStrike. We gapped up, we retested, and we bounced. It's a beautiful thing. That's exactly what I want to see. All right, the next one was the depot of homes, right? We had a gap down today. I wasn't crazy about that part of it, but if you look at where the moving average was, 404.76, where did we open up today? Let me just bring it current. So today's open was 405.50. So we got about 75 cents away from there on the open. We stretched down on the low to 403.95. We're at 404.76, I think I said it was. Right? 8 moving average, 404.76. And our low today from 404 and 3/4, our low today was 403.95. We got right there. We bounced right off of it. Now the key is what happened above that 406.5. Right? So we got to go to a 1-minute chart on Home Depot. We pushed up, we retested, we bounced, we in. Right? Take the trade. How long did it go? Well, at a $400 stock, we'd be $2 below that 413. So 411 was our exit. We had a high of 412.5. Life is good, baby. Life is good. Right? Netflix. I hate when Netflix does this. Watch. So where did Netflix go? It gapped right down. Now, once again, I'm going to move the chart off so you can see where the moving average was. And whoops, that happens. All right, moving average was right at that negative 809. Beautiful thing. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right? With Mr. Rogers. So we gapped down just above that 809 level, and we stretched down on the low. What did the intraday chart look like? Right? We closed right there. Yes. We bounced right from there. Yes. Trade entered on the bounce. Folks, listen, let me ask you a question. Give me a 1 for yes. Actually, give me a 1 for yes and 2 for no. Did anybody in here play or still play a particular sport. I don't care what it was. You played baseball. You played. It could be golf. It could heck, it could be fishing for what I'm going to ask for. But you did it a lot. I mean, you played a lot. Like I played a lot of stickball, not baseball. Right? Baseball became more of softball. But I was 13 years old and played on a men's bar league, and my dad his job was to try to knock me over every time he got a chance. And I was on his team. Right? He just wanted to make sure I could take the hit. He took me out as catcher one time, big time. I flew 8 or 9 feet, and he had to make me swear not to tell mom that he did it. And the reason I'm asking is this: I was really good at that. I was really good at team football, right? And you could tell with a certain team or a certain pitcher, or when you're playing on a certain course of golf, and you could tell the pitch of the land of the tee, the greens rather, where the ball is going to flow to, and so forth. You get really, really, really good at it, right? Quite a few of you had yeses in there. Well, trading is the exact same thing. Before Netflix opens up, I'm in position 1 in the chair. I'm all the way back here. Netflix opens up and closes right at the fib line. I am in position number 2. When we gap up, I am already in position 3, and I am waiting for the pullback to take place in there, which of course it did. You could see where it opened on that 5-minute, and it pulled back and it bounced. Now, when I said at the very beginning of this, when I'm looking at the chart, I hate when Netflix does this, right? My hard target was in place on Netflix already. And what I hate when Netflix does this, and they have done this multiple times, is they get some gusto behind them and they blow right through that 835.62 level, right? I was out of this at like 830, 833 and a half, 834, somewhere around there, right? Call it 834 because it's easy numbers. You get into this about 814, 834, or 14, 24. That's a $20 move. What I didn't like is it continued to go, and there's another $10 that it moved that I did not get to take advantage of. Now, I'm saying this in jest, right? I would have been a lot more upset had I not had a target in place, and it moved up, got up to my level even above, and then just slams to the downside, and I'm not watching it to pull out of that trade. My whole point of this exercise is if you will focus on just every day you're in the market, funded, not funded, doesn't matter. But you're in the market day in and day out. Remember, every trade we talk about here is non-funded. You're in the market day in and day out. There are going to be days like today, right, where it's just all the stars just seem to align themselves perfectly, right? And that's what's happening today. We had a couple of days of pullback on the S&P, and then bam, this phenomenal move up today. So 20 points, that's like $16, $17 on the option price for Netflix. Square was another one. We gapped down right to the fib line and bounced. How did it work? So look at a 5-minute. Well, can't tell on the 5. Let's go look at a 1. So here's the 1 minute. I'm going to bring this in, really zoomed in, so it's a heck of a lot easier to see. What happened? We gapped down. We ran up a little bit, and then we went all the way down here and closed here. When we gapped down, before the market starts, I'm in position number 1. Position number 2 is we get the gap down. I want to see, can we get the bounce off of that fib line? We closed right near it. We retested it. We bounced. Once it got up to about 84.5, trade is taken at 84.5. And right now we're sitting at 88. 84.5 to 88. And when we do these, we do as lower price stocks. If you follow the pop methodology, if it wasn't aggressive, you'd be taking 20 contracts of this, right? So just great execution of trades today. Why? Because I'm that good? No, because I'm in it every day, or looking at it. I don't trade every day. I'm looking at it every day. I'm looking for patterns. When the pattern hits, it's time. It's time what? It's time to hit enter. Funded, not funded, whatever you're doing. Yeah, but Rob, I get bored. I understand, me too. And I easily get distracted and miss things at times, right? Especially on those days when it's not quite moving my way. And I know some of you are freaking out and looking at this trade and going, Rob, I realize that, come on. Why is it not opening up? Did it freeze? No? Okay. There we go. Okay. I realized looking at this chart, some of you caught it and said, Rob, That's 2 minutes into the open. That's fast. That's this market. That period, that's this market. A lot of this is happening. For me, a lot of times the entries are over 5, 10, 15 minutes into the day. The entries are over. I've got my 1, 2. I don't normally have a 5 or 6 like today. I don't. Right? If I get 1 or 2 decent trades off in a day, I'm tickle pink. I'm not trying to do the most trades. I'm just trying to do the ones that best suit my lifestyle, my risk profile, which this does. Right? So see what y'all got down here. Paul said it would be helpful to know what you're buying at those entry points on Home Depot. So see, therein lies the. I don't want to give a strike price, and here's why, Paul. Because the strike price itself doesn't matter. What matters is you got the 65 to 85 delta, you have a 100 or greater open interest, and you're trading front week options. That's the rules. That's the rules. If I'm taking the downside, obviously it's puts. If I'm taking the upside, it's calls. I don't normally do a lot of selling on days like today, right? My selling time is more of these flat market times, which we really haven't had. Oh, that's Andy. Sorry, I thought it was grabbing SPY. Let me look at the S&P. This has been anything but flat. Here was flat. Yeah, lots of selling going on in there. Gap down, huge run up into the market, retest here, trying to keep it in bullish zone, bullish territory. But the strike price doesn't really matter very much, right? What matters is you got to follow those rules, and you need to be able to look at that options chain and execute immediately. And then if you say, well, I am just hardcore rule follow, if it's 98 open interest, I'm not doing the trade. I may not be that strict on it, right? So just follow those rules. It's pretty straightforward. None of it is out of this, out of this world stuff that I trade. The important thing that I feel that most people get hung up on is exactly what I just spent 12 minutes on, which is the entries. Finding that entry, that bounce off of that takes place there. Let's go back over here and let's go look at economic reports. So we're going to go over to Forex Factory, which is right there. I have gold and red up there. The G20 is today. That's an all-day meeting. We don't normally see much come out of it. It's orange, meaning moderate impact. And could there something come out of it? Yes, but not normally. Tomorrow, 8:30, building permits pre-market, unless you're trading futures, it doesn't matter. G20, again, is tomorrow. Crude oil, that's 10:30 on Wednesday. That's an important report if you're trading energy. What does that mean? You're trading ExxonMobil and you didn't realize this report's coming out. The report comes out. We found a lot of extra oil. We've got very little oil. Whatever it is could dramatically impact prices. Around that same period, OPEC makes an announcement. The reason we've got an oil shortage is because we've done a cutback. We just chose not to tell the world. Ha ha. That could affect the overall anything in the energy market, right? Because the market's open, you want to be cautious and you want to know about that. Coming up on Thursday, we've got a couple of reports during the market. 10 o'clock is existing home sales. So once again, that's a report that it's moderate impact. So none of them are red until we get to Friday. PMI, flash manufacturing and flash services PMI, purchasing managers index, PMI. Big reports. Big reports. Guys, I'll give you an example of how big a report. A company that I ran many years ago, different pieces of it on and off, was a big manufacturing company here. Well, actually, we were worldwide, but based here in New York. And the purchasing manager, we would talk all the time. And bottom line was, we did not make our profit when we sold the product. We made our profit on how good a job he could buy the raw materials for. Because if he can get a really good deal on the raw materials, we could lower our price, we could become more competitive. If we were able to get our normal price, we made a lot more profit on that job, right? So purchasing managers index, big report. You've got a 10 a.m. report coming out on consumer sentiment, right? So, and it is a revised report, which drives me nuts that the government needs to revise reports. Just, you're the government, you have all the numbers, just do them right the first time. Market review. Let's go look at the S&P 500. I've had it open already a couple times today. Let me get rid of this orange bar. That's why I never have it on there for pop. I delete it off for power hour. So great move on the market, right? From the rally into the election. Was there overdone, overbaked on the election? Very possibly. I don't have my trade station open right now, so I'm going to go look at my Robinhood app, which is Robinhood just got an upgrade, by the way, folks, FYI. It is anticipated that with what's going on with current regime, current government, we're looking at very positives to crypto, which Robinhood has a big presence on. So Bitcoin is at almost 92,000, 91,990 right now, right? So on its way to 100, topic we put a couple of weeks ago on Power Hour. But when we look at the market, here, let me grab the pen again. The fib started down here. There's our V bottom. Here is our V top. And what I did is I drew an ABC. I picked up from that bottom to this high, that top. Okay. See, the numbers are over here, but I can see the circle is right there. The circle is what matters on the end of the way. And then, so it was A to B to C. C is the lowest low we made. And then 1, 2, and one more line that you're not seeing right now. You will, as I scrunch down, 3 up here are the 3 key levels, 1, 2, 3 that we're looking for. So they are, we want to see the stock get past the 236. Once it does, the ABC becomes valid. The 618 is your first target, and guess where we topped out? Right at the 618. So right now, in that level, or in that zone, we have this 5991 purple line. We've got the 6,000. We've got 6,008, 60789. And then 6017 is the all-time high we hit. We've got 4 major resistances above our head there. Once we do, if we get through those, I'm looking at that 6172 is our next upside target. And what that basically does is whatever this distance right here is, that's the same distance from C up to that 100. Which, by the way, great confluence there on the negative 618. Okay? So market itself has been strong. We did close on Friday just barely. All right, let me do this. Oh, I don't have to go more than, let's stretch it out that way a little bit. All right. So you could see the candle on Friday, the body closed just below the green line. So we closed in a neutral bias. So we closed in a neutral bias right now. Can anybody tell me what bias we're in? If we close in a neutral bias on Friday, what bias are we in right now? Someone tell me what bias. There are 5 biases. There's bullish, bullish, neutral, neutral, bearish, neutral, and bearish. What's the bias we're in today? And I've taught this here over and over and over again, by the way. So okay. So on this day, we closed at neutral. There's only one of 2 choices that can happen here. We remain neutral, or we have to see our candle get above the 8 moving average on the close, and then we're in a bullish bias. We can't go. So in other words, bias does not flow from neutral to bullish, neutral to bullish. It goes bullish. Neutral was where we were. Now we're still neutral there, right? And then we'd be bullish. So in order to get to a bullish neutral, you have to make it to bullish first. It doesn't teeter-totter between neutral and bullish neutral. Once you got down to neutral, you've kind of stretched the rubber band to a center point, and it's a little too far away. I needed to get back to bullish or bearish, because if you notice right now, there is no bearish neutral here. Bearish neutral can't happen. Ironically, if this happens, if we close here, we're still neutral. We close here, we close here, we're bearish. We close here, now we're bearish neutral. Why? This location of closing, below the 21, above the 55, is the exact same as this, but this is bearish neutral. DN, bearish neutral, right? Not ODN, just DN. The circle is the top of the body of that candle, okay? To show we closed above that 55 there. And I know sometimes it's hard to get your head around it, which is why I will remind in here as much as possible. All right? Yep, there you go, Andres. Oh, yeah, okay. and above the 8. Yep, it has to get above the 8. So right now we're in a neutral bias, right? Does that mean you can't take a directional trade? No. But if you waited, as an example, if you waited for the stock to close up here and tomorrow you're going to take a trade, as it bounces here, wherever it is, you're going to take a trade. What would your normal trade be there? Let's say that normally you would trade $2,000 worth of options contracts. We're going to switch gears for a moment away from the number of contracts. You're focusing on dollar amount, which in my opinion is the right way to do it. We teach in contracts because it's easy to do the math, right? I have to do 3 contracts at $14.81. Oh, let me do the 14 times 3 plus 81. It's too much work, right? Way too much work. We just do number of contracts. But let's say you're doing 10 contracts there, right? That would be, $2,000 there. Okay. Well, if I wanted to take the trade today as it came down and it opened up here and started to bounce, and it bounced off of the 21 moving average and that fib line, I would do this at $800 in contracts. So if it's an $8 option, I'd buy 1 contract. If it's a $4 option, I'd buy 2. If it's a $2 option, I'd buy 4. If it's a $1 option, I'd buy 8. See what I mean? I would be less aggressive because we are in a neutral bias, which means we could easily see a whipsaw take place in there. To help avoid that, I still want to partake, but I'm not going to put as much at risk. And here's the thing. The first time you do this and it works, meaning the stock ran up and you had profit on that, the first thing in your head is going to be, I should have just did the full $2,000. No. Right? Get accustomed to having an aggressive amount that you are still willing to enter the trade. You're willing to risk that much without risking all or a full allotment there. Why? Because if I wait for the stock to get back above the 8 moving average, get back above the fib line, break up, retest, and bounce, I have the best opportunity of being right and the smallest amount of risk possible when I do it that way. When I'm here, we could see that whipsaw that I just drew in there, and it can go in either direction very quickly. It could have been a head fake to bounce up, right? I want to take the trade because I like the way the market's moving and so forth, but I'm not want to put a big risk at it. Okay? So was that helpful? Give me a 1 for yes, 2 for no. Just make sure that I'm not crazy, nutty, giving you guys stuff that is just worthless. Jennifer said, analysts are saying 6,700 on the S&P 500 by the year end. And my number is 6,700 still today at November 15th, 18th. Maybe. I don't listen. I think the announcement of some of the policies and things we're looking at are going to be really good. I don't know. Listen, I'm not for cutting programs that are needed in government at all. But when they announced some programs the other day that we paid $500,000 to another country for 12 people to do a native dance from their nation in their country. Why did we give $500,000 to that? What in the world would possess us to do that? There are people with no food living on the street in this country that could use that money for them. So the wasteful stuff, yeah, I'm all for getting rid of it. You know what it is? It's here's this big bill, and it has to do with border control. But inside of it, we need a park for this little city in Des Moines, Iowa. There's $20,000 for a park in there. Stop this stuff, right? I think the law should be one bill, one law passed. That's it. We don't need 40 things lumped in. Lobbyists, go figure. So 6,700, I'd be impressed. Listen, I'll take it. I just don't see it. Yeah, Jennifer said, I need constant lessons on this. Oh, I understand. Listen, and I appreciate all the ones, folks. Thank you very much for that. I understand that it gets frustrating. Oh, I know it. I know bias. I've seen Rob teach. I've printed the document out. It's hanging on my wall, which it should be if it's not. If you don't own this at this point, and that's okay if you don't. You may be brand new at this. If you don't own it, print the bias document out and hang it on the wall. All right. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Super Fibex. Okay. Will said okay. There you go. Now the 6,700 makes a lot more sense. Why did this analyst call 6,700? They don't have an idea. but there's a 67, 65 right there, which is what Will wrote out is a super fib. And that is a Fibonacci number from the Fibonacci number series. This black line down here is 4181, right? That's a fib, same super fib as the black line up here. And this brown line is the midpoint, right? So I don't think it's 67, 65 because we're not there. We're nowhere near it, so I'm not focused on it at all. But good catch on that one, Will. Keep telling me good stuff. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, and that's it. We'll hit it right on the head. I'm just looking. I wasn't looking at the chart. I'm just thinking to myself, 6,700. I got 6,200. Maybe. I don't know. Listen, there are a lot of analysts out there, and they could be dead wrong. That, including my friend, a friend of mine that's an analyst, that believe that the reaction from Trump winning was overbaked, and that's where we're getting this fall down in steam. But Bitcoin, crypto is a whole different ballgame, right? They don't play by the same rules as the rest of the market. I think crypto is hit $100,000 and fall a little bit off of there. I had a good friend of mine in California. He shared on his Facebook post his Robinhood type account for his crypto and what he had invested, what he had made, and that he was pulling the profits out of the trade. So he was selling enough Bitcoin to get every penny of the profit out. Going to leave his principal in there, and he went and took the money and he bought a dream for himself, which was a piece of property of acreage. He lives in California, so a piece of property in California that he could ultimately build his ranch on. Jennifer said thanks for that catch on the 67.65. So next we'll look at VIX real quick. Not really telling us much. Right, we had that big move up on Friday. We're down a little bit today, a little bounce off of where we were. So it's a hollow candle, but we're down nicely from where we were. We're still down 42 cents. Okay, so VIX is still low. Nothing crazy happening in VIX right now at all. Right? What do we do? Market review. Today's trades, economic reports, market review, today's trades. So I guess I got that in there twice. Okay, I got to take it out. Guys, here's the updates for this week, right? So tonight we've got Inner Circle check-in. The monthly is on the 21st, which is Thursday. Mastermind group is tomorrow night. Next week, I believe we start our new core training in Mastermind. Patterns in a Flash is on the 20th at 8 p.m. Monster Market Movers is next week, Monday, because of the Thanksgiving holiday. What we don't have on here, Andrew, can you please put on here the Trading You that we're making up? We just added it to our calendar today, so you probably haven't heard about it yet, but let's make sure we get this on for everything going forward. So we're doing that, I think, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. There's just no dates, folks, nothing. Because of Fib Trading Mastery, everything is swamped. And that Fib Trading Mastery, the next one is tonight, then the 22nd, and the 2nd, there's also one on the 5th. We just don't have it on here. I'll pick more dates out on them, but I wanted to get through a couple of the trainings to get an idea of how many more I thought we were going to need. E-mini, power option plays, covered call explorer, all on a regular schedule, as is pop and coach's playbook. Right? So patterns in a flash, folks. You're going to see Tony's email come out on this. Keep your eyes open for it. He does a great job with patterns. This goes back to the baseball or football or golf example I used before of being able to recognize the pattern. I'll be talking with Tony charting. He goes, "Oh, you see this pattern?" I'm like, "Where?" He goes, "Right here. You didn't see it?" "Oh, well, I do now," right? But no, I didn't see it at all. Oh, let me do this. Here, let's do this. Guys, we don't have it on here yet, okay? But there is a YouTube video we shot that's on AI and a document that we're going to put up on here, a free download, a free training on using AI in the market. And I've got the top 10 prompts that I use in the market. A prompt is a series of instructions for AI. You can go feed it into any AI that you like. I will tell you that I prefer it done in Perplexity because it is better at more current things. And Perplexity, you can use it for free. Register it, but don't pay for it. But you're going to see that download is going to come up on here soon. So you're going to be able to download that as one of the documents up here, right? Not there yet, but it's going to be there shortly. We talked about it this morning. All right, weekly topic. What is our weekly topic? How to trade the Fibonacci H pattern. Right now, this is very much my, what's the word for it? Very first ever, not the word I was looking for. We talk OG, right? It was the first ever fib pattern that I ever traded at all. This was my introduction into markets, into trading markets with fibs, was this H. So what we're going to do is I want to define, I'm going to go over to a template with no moving averages on it. That's the first thing, okay? And we're going to define what that H pattern looks like, right? And I don't have stocks picked out for it. We're going to do them together. Perfect. Perfect, right there. And that's because there are just so many stocks presented. So first thing we've got to talk about is what is an H, right? Now, if you go back to grammar school, not cursive, just regular, plain English writing, that's a lowercase h. And that is what we're referring to as a lowercase. It's not a cap H. It's not that, okay? So what we're looking for is a directional move. And that directional move starts from the swing high, in this case, because it was a bearish move, down to the swing low. That's the directional move. And then comes the bounce. I want to see the bounce close either near the 50 or near the 618. That's the key. I want to see it close near one of them. So we closed near the 50 here. So on this day here, if we call this day number one, let's do it this way. Let's not do that. Watch. Let's not put a day to it. Let's just say this right here, right? PIC. Position in chair, right? This day, day one, I'm position number 3 in the chair. I'm back here. Nothing happening at all. The next day, we close right at the 50. When I look at this at the end of the day, I am in position number 2 in the chair. I'm like, yep, I like this one a lot, right? And then what? We ran up, we closed a little bit above the 50. Wonderful. The next day, we gap up. I'm still in position number 2 in the chair because I'm waiting. Are we going to get a bounce? Are we going to break out here? Is this going to turn into a different type of trade, like a Fibonacci 4-step or something else? And then we come back down and we close there. This day right here, and this is on the close because nothing happened. We just kind of floated around between the 50 and 618. What am I waiting for? This is an H. So I'm looking for this type of pattern to set itself up. Pull down. And that looks exactly like this H, doesn't it? Hell no, it doesn't. It looks like this. Yeah. To me, this one right here, that's a very ugly H. This one here, that is a very pretty H. Most profitable letter in the alphabet. As we finally break on this candle right here, I'm in position number 3 in the chair. When we broke through that fib line, depending on what it did as it broke, did it break and just continue to drop, or did it break, retest, and press down? Well, the next day, we open right up at that level. I'm in position number 3 again. Might have taken it, may not have taken it. This day here was also position number 3. What's happening here? I am waiting for the retest of that fib line and the fail. Which fib line? The 50 or the 618? We didn't close near the 618, so I'm looking for the retest of the 50. Right? Breakdown, retest, fail. You see 3 candles. We broke down below. We broke down below. We retested. And we failed. And that is the entry, ladies and gentlemen. It's right there. That is the entry into the trade. And what are we doing then? Once you've got this trade in place, come on. All right. There we go. Wow. Okay. I want you to see all of it on the screen. Once we've got this setup in place, okay? And this right here is the entry candle. Right? Well, now I need to have targets. Well, the next fib line, one fib line down, that's target number 1. The fib line down below that is target number 2. Okay. Why is this so important? This fib line, I have seen many cases where we come down here and we take right back off again. Kind of like we did here. Right? The way that you will hear me talk about this trade is as we get a two-line move, excuse me, as we get a two-line move, it's actually not two we're looking for. It's more like 2.5, which is about what that is. It's about 2.5 lines to the downside. Right? A little further if you count the wick. But it's about a 2.5 line move to the downside. 2+ lines. And the plus is the head fake. We talked about the other day. I don't remember what training I was in. Tripp was not in there with us to give me the exact number. Someone else had looked it up, but it's about 96% of all data points come in 2 standard deviations. And the move right here from the 50 to the 236, it's 2 lines or 2 standard deviation move. That's about 96% of all data points. 96% of all data points comes in there. Okay. So I want to be out of the entire trade by the time I get to T2. Rob, what if I'm only trading one contract? What do? Take the exit at trading at target 1, T1. Take your first exit or your exit there. Oh, but if I just held on, if you just held on and it bounced, yes, what's the answer? You would have lost, right? There we go, 95.45, Tripp said. 95.45 is the exact percentage of a 2 standard deviation move. Right? We're actually going to be doing a training on this inside of the Fibonacci Trading Mastery. We're going to do a training on standard deviation. We have one training specifically set for that. Which, by the way, if you have not gotten in Fibonacci Trading Mastery, there is still time. Folks, you missed last week, which all of the recordings are done and posted. So they're ready to rock. Tonight is the next one. We're doing another one this week. Actually, I think this other one this week is, I don't remember the date, but we're doing one this week. We've got none next week because of the holiday, and then 2 the week after scheduled right now. And we should get all this finished up before the holidays, keeping in mind we closed the last week of the year. Christmas to New Year's, we closed as a company. We're shut down. Let's see. Gene said, are data points the same as candles? No, it's not. So what I mean by data points, Gene, when I use that phraseology here, and we're talking about this in Fibonacci speak, the move of any 2 Fibonacci lines. So from this line to this line, most of the movement, 95.5%, 95.45, but 95.5% of the entire move is usually baked into 2 lines. And what happened? We moved up and we failed 2 lines, right? We came back here, we moved up 1.5 and we failed, right? I want to get my mouse out of there so my mouse line is not misconstrued as a line, right? If we look from here, we did come up 1, a little bit, we failed, right? And now when we failed off of here, what happened? We failed 1 line, 2 line, and we bounced. We failed and nothing happened. We just came right back up. We bounced 1, nope, sorry, a little more than 1, right? And then every move, a full distant move from one line to another, one fib line to another is 1 standard deviation. 2 lines is 95.5% of all movement falls normally within 2 lines. Does that make sense, Gene? Brandon, so what is the retracement fibs at the bottom right of the chart? Bottom right of the chart. You mean this down here, Brenda? Not really sure what you're referencing. All right. So overall, when we look at an H pattern, and it doesn't matter the stock, folks. It's not like AMD was the pattern, right? It's not. Right? Let's see. Nothing has made it down to the 50 yet, so we don't care. Nothing's got to the 50. So very ugly move here. We stepped up, we failed, we stepped up, we failed, we stepped up, we got close. Nothing really great here. Coinbase, no move down yet. Yes, Gene, excellent question. Can the move be upside down? So here's an H, but it doesn't work because it didn't make it up to the 50. Right? but can we have an upside down H? And the answer is yes. So I'm going to draw it just for the sake of, I don't want to spend a lot of time searching for one. But you have this move here and then this move here. Right? Very swooping pattern. I'm not real crazy about it. But no, okay. So here would be one. Fast move, almost impossible to trade. So yes, we closed right near the 50. Next day we gapped up. So again, the trade very difficult to take it that way. But yes, Gene, we absolutely can have it. We absolutely can have it to the upside or downside, either direction. Sorry, Brenda. I don't even know what chart I was on, what I was drawing at that time. Apologize. I'm just not following what you want me to do. I'm on AMD. Got it. Now what? You're welcome, Gene. It's a great pattern. I love it. It was my introduction to fibs. That was that and one other fib pattern, all that Vaskin knew how to teach me. His fib is a 118. Are you talking about this in here? Yeah, that's on there because I already shared with you here the exits on AMD. I haven't done it in pop yet. So I left that on there to remind me. I don't normally leave them there. I left that there to remind me for my exit, so I will show them where we got stopped out today. Because I already recorded it on the sheet. That's why for me. Okay. All right, what candidates do you all want me to look at? Go ahead and drop those symbols in. Remember, this part is all about you. I don't need to know what stocks you're trading. Doesn't matter to me. I'm not asking for candidates to help me find something to trade. I'm asking what ones would it be helpful for me to look at for you. Funded, not funded, doesn't matter. Actually, don't tell me it's funded because I won't analyze it. It's not about trying to find you. You're in a trade. What should you do? I can't answer those questions. Right. So the very first one, Paula put in SPY and QQQ. I'm going to go back over to the template with moving averages. We're in a we actually closed in a bullish neutral bias on SPY, not neutral versus the S&P, barely, but we did. So we're in a bullish neutral bias right now. I'd love to see us get back above the 591 before taking any trade on this one, Paula. And I'd want to, I would have a target of the 597.5 as my resistance. As far as QQQ, let's take a look at that one. Okay. QQQ. So we closed in a neutral bias. We're still in a neutral bias. We need to get. It's going to be hard. The moving average is going to start to curl and whip very quickly if we take a big move up. So we're probably looking to get back above that 509 level, or if I can get down below the 55. Right now, I'd be day trading directionally, between the 494 and 500, moving my levels. I hope that helps, Paul. Let me know. Square, SQ. Too hip to be square. Today was the day. I took a trade on Square today on that bounce. Today was the day. We need the pullback to the 84 or the breakout of the 90, one or the other. But that was a today trade, Gene, on Square. Let's see. Trader Will wants an overall review of Win. All right, it's been a bit since we took it off of Pop. I don't really watch it any longer. And that's about how long ago we took it off. So strong move down, which we would have given most of it back. So we're going to redraw the fib here. Swing low to swing high. So there's an H pattern, right? Right there. Okay. 2 lines and we fail. It's just very choppy on it lately. I don't know what's going on. I mean, lots and lots of gaps, decent ones, no less. Um, we're sitting right now in neutral bias. Moving averages are all over the place. The ideal thing for me, would be for it to continue down, break the 87.20 and look for a bearish entry. That would be an ideal one for me. Could you take the bullish? Yeah, I'm just not confident. We did fill the gap here on this day, so that's good. It's not confident of that upside move. Could you look at it as a switchback? You could. Hope that helps, Will. Andres is looking for Microsoft. All right, there's the entire fib. Let's pull it further out. I like it to the downside without hesitation here, Andres. I do. Move up, retest, and fail. Take the entry somewhere off of that 417 retest like it is now. Stop is just above. 405 is the target. I'm sorry, is the support. The target's going to be right about 408, 409. All right, so that's our target right now for them. But I do like them. Could they wind up on the upside? They could, but I want to break the 426.64. We got a high, a lower high, a slightly lower high, but it is lower. Lower high. So that 426.64 is a big number. But I like the downside much better. That's the way I prefer to trade this one. It's to the downside. Gene said, is Microsoft too messy to call it a channel? You know, it's, and here's the problem we run into with fibs, right? And channels. If we go over to template number 1, if we get rid of the moving averages, it's easier to see. And an ideal world for me, Gene, is one fib line move. That's ideal. What did happen here? I don't know why this thing keeps changing width. That's an ideal channel for me. Here we're looking at 2 lines, 3.5 lines, about the same. 1, 2.5 lines. So it's a little bit of a bigger move in there. I am not as excited about multi-line fib channels as I am getting in between 2 fib lines, Gene. So could we look at it that way? Yes. It is a channel, but you probably used the best word for it. It's messy. It's messy. Brenda's asking for UPRO. All right, UPRO, $80 stock, $90 stock, sorry. $90 stock. It's in a neutral bias. I want to back above the 95. Moving average is right in the middle of that fib channel, of that fib line, so I'm not excited about it. I would want to see it back in above that 95.22. And then she also asked for Meta. Oh no, sorry, that was Jennifer. All right, so yeah. All right, so we're in a bearish bias right now. Retest that 560.26 and fail like it did today. Let's actually, Jennifer, let's go look at that. Let's go look at a 5-minute candle today and see what it did. Now, okay. This dotted line is yesterday, today. We gapped up, we failed, right? But we didn't get anywhere near this fib line. We moved up here, we closed on this hollow-bodied candle. We opened up about where we were and we failed. What do you think? Good entry, bad entry? What do you think? It's tricky. It's tricky. No takers? Here's the problem. It closed at 11:45. My rule states that I don't want to take the trade after 11:30. So we closed right there and failed off that fib line, and it's worked nicely. If you took it, it worked. That's just personal. I tend to, for multiple reasons. Number one, if I don't force a lunch upon myself, I will not take lunch. I will sit at the computer all day long and watch. Not any longer, but that's what I would do. I just sit and watch all day long. So it's an imposed lunchtime, 11:30 to 1:45. Imposed upon lunchtime for me. Right? That's number one. Number two, did we really get a retest, or is it close enough? And again, that comes down to a personal decision of a yay or nay for that. There's no right or wrong, but the setup was there if you were taking at that time of day. Right? So there's my call on Meta. Let's go look at Adobe. Okay, so we are right now in a bearish bias. I'd love to see it break the 496, break, retest, fail, break, retest, fail. If it does that, I'm all over it like white on rice. Absolutely love the setup for it. Love it. Adobe is one of our stocks in POP. They have earnings coming out, 12/11 confirmed. Yeah, bearish for a while, exactly. Yep, Jennifer, that's exactly it. I think that's all of them. Let's say what Jim said with SPY and QQQ, it has a possibility of closing the gap from 11.5 to 11.6. Yes, very much does. Right? If it continues to press, it's going to close that gap up, that open window, and markets don't like. So I agree. I agree. So what do you do then? Take your time identifying your list of candidates. What stocks are you going to trade? You should have hopefully you have a big list that you work off of. And I mean your 10 or 20 that you look at every single day. You know, my list is my pop list. That's that's my favorite list. We've done in Mastermind Group and in Trading You Now, we've actually done refined lists. Not as high priced as pop. And we have refined lists of ones that we look over, that we look at in there. That's our list, right? In pop, that's our list. For me, pop is my list. It's the one that I like to trade off of, right? Yeah, I like the bookings and I like the squares and everything in between, okay? So identify the candidates on your list. Talk it out loud to yourself of what you're seeing in the charts right now, what you have seen on the charts, you know, based on what's happening, and what has to happen for you to pull the trigger. And then you deal with the consequences. But the trade is in place because the trade triggered based on your rules. And as long as your rules are tested, back tested, non-funded, of course, all tested and back testing with non-funded accounts. And you still, when you first start, it's not funded. Even when you say, okay, my testing is done, I like this setup, I trust it, now I'm going to do it for real, it's still for real with non-funded money. Right? Don't rush this game. Too many people fail very quickly in this. That's because they don't give it the time. All right, excellent, everybody. Tonight, 8 p.m., Fibonacci Mastery Trading. Don't miss out on it, folks. Never, ever have I done anything like this before. My older DVD series rules have changed. All the rules are being updated in this class. 1 or 2. Tonight is 2 hours. Well, and when I say it's 2 hours, we could be an hour and 45 minutes. We could be 2 1/4. Right? Yeah, everything I'm doing for Fib Mastery Trading is all 2 hours. Fib Trading Mastery is all 2-hour classes. Right? I'm hoping not to do anything on a Saturday. I don't want to. Even Fridays, I don't want to. It's just with holidays now, we've got to get everything done for that. Yes, happy trading to you as well, Brenda. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Grab the link that Andrew dropped in the chat box. Andrew, dropping it again, please. Oh, good. Jim said the Power Hour agenda worked great today. Good, I'm glad. I'm glad. Timing worked out well. We got right there. So that's awesome. That's awesome. You're welcome, Donald. All right, have a great day, everybody. God bless. I will see you all in our next update. Andrew just dropped in that link. Go ahead and click on it and get registered for tonight's class. All right, take care. See you all soon, folks. Bye.